Hello mate, you alright? Welcome back to Football Therapy! With me, your host, Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Yeah, welcome back to Football Therapy. And welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series right here on Football Therapy, where I go across football news media, see what's being said about the Blues, consolidate it and present it to you, the viewer, in one manageable package, giving you my opinion, but more importantly, asking for yours. Right, Frank Lampard has spoken in his press conference, letting you know who's good to go, who isn't good to go. By the way, I know I should be watching these press conferences prior to doing a match preview, but sometimes I'm an idiot. So I want to talk about what Frank said about who's in, who's out, what we're what we're likely to see against Southampton tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Damn. And also, I do want to address these Paulo Dybala rumours coming from Italy that Chelsea are monitoring the Argentinian superstar. So yes indeed, plenty to crack into in today's Chelsea news video, but let me take just a moment to let you know why you should check out OneFootball. That's right, my sponsor OneFootball is the beautiful one-stop consolidated sweet and tasty platform that you can use on either your phone or of course the website, the web. Gives you everything you need to know about football matches, results, statistics, lineups, transfer news, general news, all of it. You know it, man. I know it. I use it all the time, so you can too by clicking the link in the top of the description. Do yourself the favour, it's totally free. Okay. Alright then, let's get into it. Right, so Frank Lampard just finished his press conference talking to the press, the media, letting you know what's going on, giving opinions on the more political side of football, but we're not going to touch on that today. We want to know about player news, injuries, what's going on, who's ready to play, are we going to see the superstar attack that we've all been waiting for? Of course, in my match preview, I put in the super attacking four of Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, and Hakim Ziyech, all to start in this game, and indeed, all are fit. But one thing Frank Lampard did confirm regarding this attacking four is Hakim Ziyech is unlikely to start. It's kind of fair enough, I get it. Of course, he only played 30 minutes the other day for his national side. Also, Christian Pulisic's been raring to go for a while. He stayed at home at Cobham. He's been training with the coaching staff and Frank Lampard. So Frank's probably kept a keener and closer eye on Christian Pulisic. So to be honest, I expect the front four to consist of Havertz in the 10 behind Timo Werner with Pulisic on the left and Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right, who's looked very good of late. So I tell you what, not really much of a downgrade. That front four is still scintillating. What else did he say? I think Ben Chilwell is likely to start. They brought him back from the England international duty, kind of more as a precautionary measure. He's looking so important to Chelsea, and of course Frank Lampard has courted Ben Chilwell for a long time. He's a hugely important player for his team and how he wants to play. I do expect Ben Chilwell to start, especially from the noises Frank Lampard made in this press conference. Interestingly, but rather not surprisingly, Thiago Silva probably won't feature in this game. Not because he's not fit, but purely because he's played 90 minutes for Brazil, quite far away. He's got to travel back, he needs to recover, etc. I don't think he'll be good to drop right into this game, so you'd imagine it will be Kurt Zouma partnered with Andreas Christensen. And another worrying situation is Monday is probably not good to start as expected, so Kepa Arrizabalaga goes in goal, and suddenly this beautiful back five that we saw against Crystal Palace is rocked and two integral figures are taken out in the shape of Thiago Silva and Edouard Mendy, you know, two French speakers. So now the well, I was about to say the communication is broken down, but to be honest, everyone that remains can just speak English. So there's no problem there. What am I talking about? The only problem remains is that Kepa will be in goal. Now, I've got nothing against the lad. I really hope he does well. I mean, every Chelsea fan, let's be real, if Kepa makes like a couple of high-profile saves in this game, looks really good against Southampton, everyone's going to love that. It's going to be a feel-good story. It's not going to be like, right, now you're a first-team goalkeeper, because, you know, it's going to take a lot more than that to win back the Chelsea fans' trust. But generally, if he has a good performance against the Saints, that's just a good thing for Chelsea, the club, Kepa himself, the manager, and indeed, us Chelsea fans. So that's good, you love to hear it, beautiful scenes. Am I missing anything else? Hudson-Odoi over Ziyech off the bench, Werner looks good, Christian Pulisic good to start, Mendy not to start, Thiago Silva not to start, Ben Chilwell to probably start. I think we're all caught up here. Kai Havertz masterclass. Go and watch my Southampton match preview with these updates now updated in your brain. And we move, and let's talk about the next story of today's video. Alright then, people have been speaking to me on different social media platforms, on my Instagram lives, on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/YansYard. Come watch for video game fun. And indeed, just comment section, etc. loads of places. People are asking me, what do you think of these Paulo Dybala rumours? Well, off the bat, I wanted to just wave them away, and generally I'm still pretty inclined to do so, because why would we ever need Paulo Dybala? It's like these Erling Haaland rumours that came out recently. We've got, you know, in terms of a striker, Timo Werner, Tammy Abraham. Granted, Giroud won't be around for long, but if Broja does incredibly well, these are three young strikers that will all be gunning to do well up front. You know, we're not gagging for a striker at the moment. And similarly, I feel the same about the Paulo Dybala story. Granted, he's not an out-and-out striker, although sometimes he is played down the middle. He's more of a sort of shadow striker, second striker, number 10, or can be deployed on the wing. Kind of like Kai Havertz in many ways, but probably likes to do more, stay up front more, do you know what I mean? Whereas Kai Havertz kind of like floats around deeper for Chelsea lately, you know? Now the story has come from TuttoMercatoWeb. From out in Italy, basically he's fallen out of favour with Andrea Pirlo, which is weird, but fair enough, and he's stalling on a contract extension, and obviously Juventus look at Paulo Dybala as an incredibly valuable asset, which he is, by the way. They did want to flog him before, like when they bought Ronaldo, because they wanted to balance the books and bring in a decent chunk of revenue, but then he turned out he was playing incredibly well for Juventus, and they were like, oh yeah, well, glad we kept him. You know, they ended up winning the Scudetto under Maurizio Sarri. Everything's cool, right? He is a superstar player. You know, he plays up front for Argentina with Messi and Aguero, and he's just a superb player. You know, the Dybala mask celebration, he's still quite young, I think, or mid-20s-ish. For me, it's just like, why do you want to risk all this money on this forward player to come into the Premier League when you've got young forward players, even younger than him, that, you know, could be part of this Chelsea team for the next decade? Look, if he's not going to sign an extension, this story probably is a case of Chelsea monitoring the situation. Can we get a bargain here? You know, can he just, don't know, somehow fit into this team? Chelsea, dude, Chelsea are always monitoring situations. Inherently, they monitor every situation. They've got an incredibly, like, comprehensive scouting network. They're always talking to everyone. Like, trust me, behind the scenes, there is loads of things that we will never, ever know about Chelsea Football Club. They will be in contact with agents of players that we'd never thought would be linked with or would need. This could similarly be the case with Paulo Dybala. Chelsea have spent, you know, a gargantuan amount of money of late. Of course, they've generated decent revenue too and are playing by the rules, but are they just going to continuously look to buy players all the time? I'm not so sure. When it comes to Paulo Dybala, I do really like him as a player. Certainly, probably like a couple of years ago, a little bit more than I do now, because he was maybe a little bit more high profile then. And if you said Paulo Dybala to Chelsea, then I'd be like, yes. But now Pulisic, Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Werner, you know, even like Abraham down the middle, all these guys, probably miss someone who can play up front a little bit more. I just think, you know, don't need it, mate. We don't need it. Let's buy a world-class centre-back. Jimenez from Atletico Madrid. You know, spend the money on that. Although this story could be nonsense, but I did want to give my opinion on it because you guys have been saying on different social media platforms, what do you think about the Paulo Dybala to Chelsea links coming from Italy? And this is what I think, so hopefully you feel better now if you've asked the question. But what do you guys think? I want to get all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Express yourself on the match tomorrow, on the players that could start, might not start, who's going to play well for Chelsea this weekend, and beyond. What do you think of the Paulo Dybala links? Would you have him at Chelsea, theoretically? Like, tell me what you think about that. If you've enjoyed the content, please do drop a like on this video. It does help me out a lot, man. I would urge you guys also also to subscribe to Football Therapy if you're new, mate. We are very, very close, well, relatively close to that 100k mark, and we move closer every day. And you can be a part of that, man, that journey and that accomplishment by dropping a sub on the channel and then the bell notifications icon, of course. Anyway, man, I think that's probably me done, so I'm out. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.